Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. 38 years after Star Trek, the next generation began. Jonathan Frakes made Star Trek history thanks to LEGO. Announced on Star Trek Day in September, LEGO has unveiled its first collaboration with Star Trek, the USS Enterprise D, with 9 minifigures featuring the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Of course, every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation began with Patrick Stewart as Captain Jean-Luc Picard reciting the immortal mission statement, "Space, the final frontier." These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise, TNG's modernization of Star Trek. The original series' version of Space, the Final Frontier was to update Where No Man Has Gone Before to the more inclusive Where No One Has Gone Before. In Star Trek The Next Generation's era, only Captain Picard spoke the famous "Space, the Final Frontier" spiel. Further, it was never said at all in any of the 4 Star Trek The Next Generation movies. This means Jonathan Frakes' Commander William T. Riker never got to give Star Trek's classic speech until now. For the first time since being cast as Commander Riker in Star Trek The Next Generation in 1987, Jonathan Frakes finally gets to recite Star Trek's classic Space, the Final Frontier speech in LEGO's announcement video for the USS Enterprise D set. Check out this historic moment for Frakes and Riker below. Saying the Space, the Final Frontier speech is usually a privilege reserved for whoever is the captain of the Enterprise in a Star Trek TV show. In Frakes' era, only William Shatner's Captain James T. Kirk and Patrick Stewart's Captain Picard gave the speech each week in their respective TV series. Commander Riker may have been first officer of the USS Enterprise D and E in the Star Trek The Next Generation movies, and will occasionally got to command the Enterprise, but he was still in a supporting role to Patrick Stewart's Captain Picard. However, Jonathan Frakes' Riker now becomes the latest first officer to say Space, the Final Frontier, and it's about time the honor was afforded to Riker, who is now ranked captain in Star Trek Picard. Surprisingly, Scott Bakula's Captain Jonathan Archer never got to say Space, the Final Frontier in Star Trek Enterprise. Archer only delivered the line, "To boldly go where no one has gone before," after Kirk and Picard in the final scene of Star Trek Enterprise's series finale. In the Star Trek movies, Space, the Final Frontier is only said 3 times, and twice by Leonard Nimoy's Spock. The Vulcan delivers Star Trek's mantra posthumously at the end of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and again at the end of Star Trek 2009. The entire Star Trek Beyond cast gives the speech at the end of the film. Thanks to LEGO, Jonathan Frakes' Commander Riker finally, and deservedly, joins the exclusive list that says Space, the Final Frontier, to mark the arrival of the $400 USS Enterprise D set from Star Trek The Next Generation. But this time, history came in the form of something far more unexpected: a humble LEGO brick, or rather, tens of thousands of them. Jonathan Frakes, actor, director, Starfleet's favorite bearded first officer, has just done something no one in the franchise has ever managed, and it all started with a little plastic construction set. For decades, Star Trek has struggled to find its footing in the world of brick-based creativity. While Star Wars basked in the glow of blockbuster LEGO sets, from destroyers to walkers to minifigure packs worth more than latinum, Star Trek remained conspicuously absent. There were licensing issues, branding conflicts, and the old belief that Trek's meticulous detail and engineering-heavy ships simply weren't LEGO-friendly. Fans filled the void with custom builds posted to forums and social media, turning Constitution-class starships into elaborate art projects. But an official Star Trek LEGO milestone? That remained uncharted territory. Until now. Because this week, Jonathan Frakes became the first Star Trek figure in history to receive an official LEGO minifigure based on his Star Trek role, a landmark that sent Trekkies, collectors, and nostalgia-fueled 1990s kids into a frenzy across the subspace channels. And leave it to Frakes, the man who made the phrase #1 iconic, to be the one breaking the mold. It started innocently enough. LEGO announced a limited edition Icons of Television series, celebrating the most influential characters in serialized storytelling. Most expected the usual suspects. A sitcom star here, a cartoon character there, maybe even a superhero sprinkled in for good measure. No one expected Star Trek to elbow its way in, especially given the long absence of any official LEGO partnership. Yet there he was, Jonathan Frakes, rendered in the classic LEGO style, complete with posable arms, signature beard, and even the unmistakable Riker lean molded into the display stand. The minifigure wore his Starfleet uniform from the Next Generation, with bright red command colors and a tiny communicator badge that somehow captured the gleam of the real thing. But what makes this truly historic is that this is the first time any actor from the Star Trek franchise has received an official LEGO likeness explicitly tied to a Star Trek property. Not merchandise adjacent, not a parody, not a subtly inspired by figure. This is the real deal. Commander William T. Riker in LEGO form. Frakes himself reacted in the most Jonathan Frakes way possible, with humor, humility, and just the right sprinkle of self-aware joy. "I've done a lot in my Star Trek career," he joked on social media, "but becoming a LEGO minifigure? In Zodi, we've reached the next frontier." Fans immediately began sharing photos, reactions, and of course, memes. Within hours, LEGO Riker trended across Trek forums, and collectors began hunting down the limited edition set with Ferengi-level enthusiasm. But the story doesn't end with a single figure, because Frakes' involvement didn't stop at simply being immortalized. According to behind-the-scenes info, the actor actually participated in the design consultation process. He and LEGO's creative team collaborated to capture the essence of Riker, from the precise angle of the eyebrows to the tiny smirk that hinted at the character's iconic charm. He even reportedly requested that the figure include a small buildable trombone. LEGO agreed. Result? A minifigure that feels like Riker in every sense. A bit suave, a bit mischievous, a lot heroic. More importantly, it represents a shift in Star Trek's relationship with global pop culture. For years, the franchise has been respected, beloved, and occasionally meme-ified. But LEGO is a different territory entirely. LEGO isn't just a toy, it's a mark of cultural immortality. To be LEGO-ified is to join a curated pantheon of characters who transcend their stories into imagination's universal language. With Frakes breaking the barrier, fans are now speculating about who might follow. Picard? Data? A full Enterprise D bridge set complete with mini-consoles and that perfect carpeted beige? The possibilities are enough to send any fan into warp-speed dreaming. LEGO, for their part, have hinted this is just the beginning, suggesting that the collaboration with Star Trek could expand into full sets, collector models, and perhaps even episodic diorama series. What makes Frakes the perfect choice for this milestone is not just his iconic role, but the fact that he embodies Star Trek's heart both on and off screen. As an actor, he brought warmth, humor, and humanity to Riker. As a director, he helped define the visual DNA of modern Trek, helming episodes of Deep Space Nine, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, and more. His influence runs through multiple decades of the franchise. Having him be the first Trek figure ever immortalized in LEGO form feels symbolic. It honors the next generation as a foundational cultural force. It honors Frakes as one of the franchise's most versatile contributors. And it honors the fans, many of whom grew up with both Star Trek and LEGO as formative parts of their creative imagination. There's something delightful about imagining a generation of future fans discovering Star Trek, not through late-night reruns or streaming archives, but by building a tiny brick enterprise on their living room floor. It's pure, joyful synergy, an invitation to new audiences. And who better to open that door than the man who spent decades boldly taking orders from, and sometimes giving orders to, Captain Picard? In a world where franchises constantly seek new angles, new merchandise avenues, and new ways to stay relevant, this unexpected crossover feels shockingly authentic. It's playful, nostalgic, and strangely profound. LEGO isn't just selling a toy, they're helping preserve Star Trek's legacy in a form that can be held, displayed, and reimagined piece by piece. Jonathan Frakes has done many remarkable things in his long Star Trek career. He's fought Borg, saved civilizations, directed beloved episodes, and given speeches that make admirals weep. But now he has achieved a new kind of immortality, one that fits in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.